So in the YMCA meditation class today, there was one very elderly gentleman who came in, and he was a bit shaky and a little bit deaf and looked quite pale. And he just came in and fell asleep. And so that's just what he needed to do today in class. The other people in the class were a bit concerned. They thought maybe he died in the class, but I could see he was breathing, so he wasn't dead. So all I'm saying is if anyone feels tired or they need to lie down, for some of you, I know it's very late, then, please feel free. Just turn your camera off and you can do that. That's okay. So with the feet flat on the floor, if that's where they are for you, just really feel this connection between the soles of the feet and the earth. And just feel the weight of your legs in your feet, and you can feel the weight of your hands in your lap, sits bones in the chair or whatever you're sitting on. Shoulders align with the hips. And imagine your ears align with the shoulders as best you can. And then just lengthen the spine from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. Just imagining it's this beautiful string of pearls of light. And you're putting some space in between your vertebrae. You're just kind of very gently lengthening. You're not kind of stretching or forcibly sitting up straight. And, this sitting position is not so much about being, correct. It's about putting yourself in a position that is most conducive for you to be able to do this practice. And, centuries of meditators have discovered that this is a good way. I mean, they advise the super best way is to be sitting with each foot over the opposite thigh, but that is not available to everybody. So this legs down in this position is also very good. So go to the crown of the head and just relax the scalp. And just notice whether you can feel any sensation there. Relax the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw. And the back of the head, back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly. And just release any tension in your limbs. And that includes your hands and feet and fingers and toes. Just notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. It's flowing in and out of the nostrils. A little bit cooler as you inhale, slightly warmer as you exhale. And then just be aware of any sounds in your environment. And just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. Some of the sounds you hear are likely to be familiar, another person doing their routine at this time of night, a pet, some sound from outside. And then just notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. And some of these thoughts may not serve us terribly well. So perhaps we could consider releasing those thoughts rather than engaging with them. The key here, however, is awareness. Just developing an awareness of what's in the mind, taking a step back rather than engaging. And just allow those thoughts to arise and abide, and then just release them. You can take a step back like almost like you're an objective observer. You're like a scientist, just watching, curious, no judgment, just interested. And then bring to mind, of course, all the people of our life, our precious loved ones. And, with our, these people that we love so dearly, we get kind of annoyed with them, or we take them for granted, or, my family's in Australia, so I think, oh, yes, I'll go visit them soon. Well, my sister's nearly 80. So as long as this time goes by, we just take these relationships for granted. We take our friendships for granted, our besties, our loved ones, spouses, children. And then it's not until we almost lose them that we realize, oh no, I must not take this person for granted. And then there's this, these people in our life who we don't like so much. We try and push them away. And these are, in a way, these are our real teachers. Our loved ones they do teach us, they do guide us. It's often a beautiful exchange. But these ones that we don't like, they show us our mind in a way that the loved ones probably could never do. That person that we don't like, that becomes like a mirror for you, for your anger inside, your, dislike, your aversion. It wouldn't arise if it wasn't there. And then there's our strangers, and we don't care about them at all, really. Maybe. Unless we have responsibility, like if you're you have a politician, you have a constituency, you do have a responsibility towards many strangers. But most of us don't think that we have a responsibility towards others that we don't know. But what's curious is, due to impermanence, these relationships can change place at any time. So I think we'll do this meditation, this Vajrasattva purification, for the benefit of all these beings, and also for ourselves as we move along our spiritual path. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we're creating negativity with our mind. So easily we can change this by creating positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret. So here, just simply regret sincerely from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And then the reason we're regretting is based on this logic of karma. So every action we take is a karma. So if we've harmed others, it's going to bounce back like a boomerang sometime in the future. So we don't want any more. So the idea is we pull out those negative seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So then we think, okay, so what can I do about this? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. It has two little subsections: refuge and developing compassion. So this first one, refuge, is we rely upon, we turn to this Buddha, Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor rather than a higher power, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And we're not needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods, his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. So he's made of light. He's not made of this kind of paint on canvas. Facing the same way as you, and sitting on cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. Yes, even the ones you don't like. He's accepting everybody just as they are, just exactly as you are showing up. His mouth is sweet, red. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And then we have this section on compassion. So compassion is, just simply speaking, a wish for, sentient beings to be free from suffering. So in order to develop this compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those people who have harmed you, and particularly have compassion for these people, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So then we come to the power of the remedy, and we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it just kind of forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutukaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutukaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutukaya mebawa sipokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutukaya mebawa sipokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutukaya mebawa sipokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutukaya mebawa sipokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutukaya mebawa sipokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forces up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech, not having the wisdom to know what to say when. All this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others with your speech. And that includes yourself, because you'll hear it. And the next is a purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you walk into a room, it's dark, you flick on the switch, and then the light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So here we imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all of our heart chakras, instantly dispels all this kind of darkness of negativity of the mind, attachment, neediness, anger, depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, and Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasafa Dina Patita, Dita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiata Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dita meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, this is the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and, wisdom, bliss, compassion. And so now we just get to this more subtle level and we purify even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So you imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta me bawa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And here's the fourth and final step in the purification process is the power of resolve. Excuse me. And this is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind, to refrain from harming. And without this, making a decision like this, we're just going to keep doing the same old stuff over and over again because we're human and we have this habit energies, as one of my Tai Chi teachers talks about, habit energies. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So Lama Zopa Rinpoche used to talk about everything being on the tip of the wishes. So you have to really want something in order for it to happen. So we start by rejoicing in our efforts coming along here. You know, for some of you, it's past your bedtime, but way past your bedtime, particularly the East Coast people, and even some of us here in the West Coast. And for some of you had really busy days, or you may have other things that you would prefer to do, but yet you still come here, which is fantastic. So rejoice for that and everyone else. And then think about something you'd like to work on, something you're becoming aware of and that you want to pay attention to sort of maybe start to eradicate from your habit energy. Make it not be your go-to default. So this determination to sort of start working on ourselves in this way is really puts us in the right direction. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And then Rinpoche would talk about, meditating on emptiness for a little bit. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, you can just place your mind there just for a moment. We think of all phenomena as being empty. They don't really exist from their own side. And, the way things appear to me may not be necessarily the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, particularly to Coral's granddaughter for, swift healing. And think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then here's our 3 verses of reciting the names of Manjushri. Amused with every object of existence, a mind of passion, loving emptiness, transcending worldly passion and the like, with great enjoyment for the threefold world, with fair complexion, white like pristine clouds, with radiance like beams from autumn moons, with luster rivaling the morning suns, with nails emitting light of crimson red, whose handsome crown has sterling sapphires, whose hair has tips of sapphire deep blue, with glory from the light of his great jewel, adorned with emanations of the Buddhas. So make a strong wish in your heart for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche. This unmistaken reincarnation is how they say it. And then, everyone here has a connection with some teacher, whether it's even in this tradition or not. So make a strong wish for them to live long. All right, everybody. Thank you for hosting. Was that Michael? And and Bill? Okay, thank you, Bill. All right. Lots of love, everybody. Sweet dreams. Sleep well. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.